How's it going, guys? We're here to check out a huge update for Rust, and it is the electrical anniversary update. The reason it's called anniversary is because it is the 5-year anniversary of Rust. So a cool little thing you get in the anniversary of Rust is a little cake with a 5 on it, and you can go bash people to death with the cake. You can throw the cake at them, and it's pretty awesome. So you can also go ahead and click on it and eat it. I'm not sure what that actually does. There's also a little party hat. That's right. So let's go ahead and take a look-sees at the party hat. And here you go. There it is. A Rust party hat. Woo! How cool. And as you can see, the underwear model censorship has been put in. I also like that it says punch on it, which is pretty great. But yeah, hopefully this helps some people who are having issues with nudity. I'm pretty much sure a lot of the people being demonetized, honestly, it's because of their language and the crudity and the toxicity of the game and the stuff they say. But some people has just straight up been, oops, a nip slip here and there is getting them. So this should help out with that nicely. So that alongside, let's show how to actually enable that. So if you go ahead into options, there's now the option for underwear, pixelated, or no censor at all. So nice and simple and easy on that one right there. Now the cake, I don't believe is craftable. I think, yeah, it's just gonna show up in random little, things. I also think the party hat, yeah, definitely isn't as well. So you're just gonna find them as drops. I guess they'll kind of just pop up here and there and around. So that's kind of the thing going on with that. Now we have a new gun added into the game. It's the M39. This thing is a pretty awesome beast. It's got some smudges and dirt to it, but it's for the most part pretty much a brand new looking awesome grand spanking military gun. There's a description for you right there, folks. But anyways, it's uncraftable. Currently, it will be gotten rarely through the Heli, Bradley, and Elite Crates kind of situation, but eventually it will be added to things like the Bandit Town, but that's not going to happen until the Bandit Town gets redone. What's that mean? They're going to be revisiting the merchants, and they're going to have it to where they cycle, so they might not always have an LR for sale. They might only have an M92 that day kind of thing, and it's a whole little progress thing they're going to be working on there. More of that as we get there. As you can see, it holds 20 rounds. We'll go ahead and take a look. It does 50 damage, accuracy is 4, recoil 8.5, fire rate is at 300, and range is at 352. When just straight up firing it, that's the recoil there. But, I mean, crouching, a lot less. But, of course, most people are going to be trying to control their recoil, and I can say that with decent control, you can do pretty good. I'm bad, and, I kept them pretty well together there. If I started on a chest, worked way up to the head, that would have been pretty decent right there. All attachments work with this gun, and yeah, it's pretty awesome. I can't wait to play around with it in-game against people as someone loudly drives by outside. Now, the bow got sluggish and kind of messed up, and people just kind of felt like it just wasn't working anymore. They were calling it a nerf. Well, the bow was broken. It has now been fixed, and while using the bow, you should now feel that it's back to its normal pizzazz and speed without the weird sluggishness to it. You can pretty much see the difference right there. It's quite obvious for sure. Now, you guys see this little thing in my inventory, and it's the Clatter helmet. Clatter is a new game coming out on December 10th from Face Punch. You can get it on Steam. I'll link it down in the description below once again. And you can get this awesome helmet by going ahead and buying Clatter and playing it for at least half an hour. So that's how it goes right there. Now, a lot of people are asking how it is crafted, and it doesn't seem to have a crafting recipe for me. I'm not sure, probably because the game isn't out yet. I'm gonna go with that one right there. I think once it does and it's awarded to you as an actual Steam item, then you'll be able to craft it. Until then, I can't really show you guys what the crafting recipe for it is. It does have stats though: projectile 20, melee 50, bite 8, radiation 4, cold 6, and explosion 8. And it's just crazy awesome looking, and I love it. So that's pretty cool right there. Now, before we delve into all the crazy electricity stuff, let's go ahead and take a awesome look at the oil rig monument. With all the stuff that's happened with all the ocean stuff, not only is there going to be an oil rig, there's also going to be a barge event. So, well, not really an event, but a spawning option. So this barge right here, I showed it to you guys a little wrong button there. All right, the team did an awesome job. They've got out this really cool barge, and it's going to be a spawning option, so you can spawn out in the water rather than land. You don't have to, but it's going to be kind of a spawning option kind of thing, which is really cool. You can see it has some turrets and some other stuff, and it'll just be an interesting little thing. It should be implemented sometime soon, but there's no date exactly for it yet. As for the oil rig, as you can see here, there's some beautiful screenshots. It looks absolutely amazing. They're working in turning it into an actual event along with the monument. So it's a monument that has an event tied to it. That's going to be a really cool thing. I'm super stoked for that. And it just looks amazing. They're saying early next year is when we should see it popping around for us. So that is a very cool thing right there. So, electricity. Boy, it is a lot of stuff. Oh, actually, I forgot. We're going to do one more thing before that. So, this unlootable loot room, right? People have been pretty angry about it. Well, they did something to fight a... What happened to this? Whoa, that model, like, gets wider. That's weird. People get angry that when people make these unlootable loot rooms, you can't really do anything about it. Well, cool thing is, now you can actually control where the loot drops. Now, if I shoot far here in the back and we break it from here, like the last hit to break it is way back there, it's going to fall back there. But if we break it here from the front, let's go ahead and actually give ourselves a little bit better tool. Boom. We go ahead and break it from this corner. You're going to see it pop out and actually fall closer to us. This should alleviate the frustration of, I wouldn't really call this an exploit, but an unintended build design, and it being crazy OP. And as you can see, there was only one thing in there, so it didn't actually drop that close to us. We've now put a multiple items in a chest, and we'll demonstrate it here. So we're gonna shoot in this corner, and you see it just kind of popped out in front, and there you go, boom, you can actually reach it. So there you have it. That's how that one's gonna work right there. Two little side notes, guys. There has been a little bit of improvements to the scientists. The AI that's been developed for the military tunnel ones should be rolling out to all scientists, including the ones at the junk piles and such. So they'll be taking cover. They will be, you know, staying back. If they get really angry, they'll push, but usually they'll kind of hit back. They also should have more realistic movement, more like a player instead of weird jankiness. And on top of that, they'll be probably using grenades as well. So you want to kind of look out for that. They're going to be a little bit more challenging out on the road. One additional awesome change is you will be able to go ahead and place ladders anywhere on the cargo ship to go ahead and mount it up there, which should make it easier to be a Somali pirate and go ahead and grab all of that loot. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other stuff. And let's go ahead and pick up everything in here. These are going to be all your electrical components that you can get and use in-game to make your contraptions so far. Now, there are two other items. There's this lamp and a wire pass-through, so you can pass wires through the wall, but those two aren't fully implemented yet. I'm not sure if these will actually be put in. They're probably more just for testing stuff, and I think wires can kind of go through walls already anyway, so that's not going to be a problem. Now, the first question people are going to ask, well, if someone just, you know, goes ahead and gets one door deep and they can start hitting my switches or something, can they just open all my doors? Well, it's all tied to the TC, so make sure you keep that TC nice and secure and safe, okay guys? So let's go ahead and pass through the items we've got here. So we've got an AND switch. This only allows pass through when both inputs receive power, okay? We've got a counter. The counter is, well, basically a counter. So you can set up like multiple ones, and it could be a clock, it could be a calendar, it could be, you could have a simple switch hooked up to it, and every time you kill someone, you flip it and it adds one to the count. You can keep track of how many kills you've gotten for the wipe. You can do pretty much anything you like with it. Then there is the door manipulator, or, you know, the door opener, and basically with this guy you can control an automatic opening and closing doors, which is pretty cool. Next up, we've got this guy right here, which is the blocker. The blocker is a, I guess it disables pass-through with power when received through its second input. I'm not an electrician. I'm gonna have to learn this stuff, so you're gonna have to kind of, you know, sit with me with some of the descriptions here. The branch, this guy, oh, it's weird, okay. The branch allows you to branch off power from the main power line. Okay, that's nice and simple there. And a combiner, combine 2 root power sources into one for a stronger main power line. Okay. Then we've got this guy, the memory cell. A bit of storage, true or false, allows pass-through when true. Also inverted the signal. With these, I believe if you do enough, you could honestly create a computer using a lot of these components, which is something crazy cool. There's a laser detector. It is what it is. It's you get power to it, a laser beam comes out. When something passes it, it can trigger something. Nice and simple like that. Then there is the A-B OR switch here. And the OR switch allows pass-through of greater signal strength when either A or B is powered. So, you know, you can kind of use this for setting up different kind of conditions, and, you know, this opens if this comes from this or this kind of situation. That's a really poor explanation, but you guys kind of get the idea. We've got a pressure pad, which is, you know, pretty simple. Someone steps on it, it activates something. It opens the door, it turns the light on, etc., which is pretty cool. Then you've got a splitter. It's as simple as it is. You put 1 in, you can get 3 out. Very simple there. Then we've got the switch here, which is you turn on, turn off. That very simple as that. A timer. You can have it set to, you know, after so much time this turns on or turns off. Nice and simple right there. And lastly, we've got the XOR switch, which allows pass-through if only A or B is powered. So that's kind of how that little guy works right there. Now, sources of power. We've got the windmill. Can't believe it, but the windmill is finally a thing. Isn't that crazy, guys? I mean, after all this time, it's got 250 health, and it needs to be put on a foundation. It can't be placed on one foundation. It's a little bit weird. I noticed standing back, it's easier to place it. And when you place it, it will basically, it doesn't face a specific direction, really. As you can see, it moves with the wind, which is really cool. But when you're placing it, this part will be facing you, so the part you need to access for the power is to the left of where you're facing when you're placing it, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. Then you've got the solar panel. I mean, it speaks for itself. It uses the power of the sun to create electricity. And then, well, what about at night, right? Or if there's not wind, well, you can store it in batteries. There's a large battery and there's the small battery. The large battery holds 100 energy in it. Of course, you can chain a bunch of these together to save up as much electricity as you'd like. And the small battery itself holds a 50, I believe. Let me double check. Oh, 10, sorry, 10 energy. So they don't hold quite as much. And you've got the big old generator over here, which is pretty awesome. I'm not sure if this one will be implemented. I don't think it's something we can actually use yet. I believe we just have the windmill and the solar panel for power right now, alongside with the batteries, but there's more stuff to come soon. So that's going to be a cool little situation there. So how does this whole thing work? Well, you've got the wire tool. The wire tool is going to pop up under miscellaneous. It costs 5 high qual, and basically it's got these nice little highlight points you guys have seen so far. So you go here and you'll see like a wire pops up, and then over here we've got a input or an output, and we don't want to start from there. So we're gonna actually start from the solar panel. So there's the solar panel's output. We've plugged it in, and let's see, we get like over here and over here and in. Boom. So now this switch can have power. So then we can go ahead and attach something to it, and let's get the power in, and voila, we've got something connected. You've got a basic light connected by solar power. Flip your switch and you got it going. Well, what if you make a mistake? You can actually left click and it will clear. right click. Left click is place, right click is clear. If you don't mean to clear, you have to kind of hold it there for a few seconds, which you saw, which is pretty nice. And yeah, so that's kind of like the basics of everything that's put in there. But, you know, well, what does everything cost and how does it work? The only thing that is a default blueprint is going to be this wire tool. So everything else is going to have a cost here. So let's go ahead and take a look at them. 75 to research the door opener. We got 20. Oh, that simple light's not a real option here. We've got 75 for the memory cell. That makes sense. We've got the AND switch is going to run you 20. The laser detector, 75. A solar panel, 75. Of course, you can see the workbench required there. 75, but workbench 2 for the large battery. We've got the OR switch at 20 with workbench 1. The pressure plate 20, workbench 1. The root combiner, workbench 1 was 75. I don't think, yeah, see the generator isn't implemented yet. Small battery 1 with 20. Splitter 1 with 20. The XOR switch 1 with 20. The timer 1 with 20. The, was this one? Regular switch 1 with 20. The blocker is going to be level 1 with 20. The counter, workbench 2 and cost you 75. And the windmill is going to be workbench 2 and cost you 250. So there you go. That's pretty much all the research costs. Now you'll find these around in various chests, just like you will anything else, as you're raiding loot rooms in the Rad Downs. Now, we'll go ahead and I'm going to learn all of these and we're going to show what they cost to craft. So we will be right back, guys. Right, as everything is spammed with new across the boards, we've got 5 high qual, 10 high qual, 5 high qual, 5 high qual in a gear, 3 high qual, 5 high qual, 5 high qual, 80 high qual for large battery. Laser detector is 15 high qual, no tech trash, that was surprising. Ore switch is 5, pressure plat is 150 wood, a spring and a gear. Small rechargeable battery 10. We've got the solar panel at 25 high qual, 10 high qual for a splitter. We've got the switch at 5, the timer at 5 and a gear, and we've got the XOR switch at 5 high qual sitting there. And then if we go under, I believe, items, we should see our windmill. There's the windmill. 1500 wood, 30 high qual, 3 gears, and 10 sheet metal. So another thing that's going to be worth saving up your sheet metal for. So guys, that is pretty much the gist of what's been added this update. You can go into a million different details on just how to set up just a million different things. There's already a ton of cool videos out there. I'm a noob when it comes to electrical, so I'm gonna have to learn some stuff. But as I do, if I see anything cool, I will be sure to bring it up or toss someone else's video your guys' direction. As always, guys, thanks for watching. The skin video should be up shortly with an announcement about the winter skin contest as well. So tune in for that. Thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you next time. Have a good one.